I've been married 4 times now. I used to be terrified to be alone. I didn't know what I was gonna do by myself. I have decided to tell my story, and I've never shared with anybody in the world.
Action.
I loved you so much, that messed me up.
I'm sure people watching from the outside were like, what is this girl's problem? What I portrayed to the world was, oh, this didn't work out, and it's fine, and I'm good, and they're good. And all of that was kind of bullshit. It's a 20-year project, and it became a 3-part musical experience. This Is Me Now is about facing the truth of who you really are. You look amazing.
You know, I look like a psychiatrist.
Blessings can blossom from a broken child.
Ben says to me, why are you so stressed lately? I said, I'm not just financing it. I'm writing it, dancing in it, singing in it. Oh, God. What am I doing? Feel like you're not good enough. You're not good enough as a partner, as a mother, as all the things.
It takes courage to share your truths.
And I know it could end disastrously. Nobody figures out anything when everything's all hunky-dory and rosy.
Hi, Elaine. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
Doing great. Doing great. I just finished the documentary, and I have so many questions because I have followed Yellow's career since everything started. And I noticed that you started working with her in Made in Manhattan. And I wonder how's Jennifer Lopez creatively, like how she come up with an idea and explain it to you, and then this idea is a fact. So it happens.
How did she explain to me This Is Me Now, you're saying?
Yeah, exactly.
How did she explain it to me? She said she didn't know what she was going to do, but she was going to do it. And she was going to do it. And I said, well, are they music videos? She said, no. I said, is it a film? She said, no. She sent me an early draft. I said, okay. She said, I'm thinking about Fat Joe for the psychiatrist. I said, okay. I couldn't see where she was going. I was interested and intrigued, and then the financing fell out and I became scared. Then it became, and the more she kept revealing about herself, I felt both protective of her privacy and nervous for the budget, to contain the budget.
Because also I noticed that we see a Jennifer Lopez that I haven't seen before, like open, crying, very vulnerable, and
oh, you're talking about the documentary.
Documentary, yes. And to me, it's just like he says something that really struck me. There's a huge difference between Jennifer Lopez and J.Lo, because J.Lo is like a brand, and Jennifer Lopez is her as a human, as a person, as a woman.
She's a girl's girl. She is a caring person. She is somebody who wants to just hang out and watch movies. She's very different than J.Lo. And I look sometimes at her when we're at a premiere or a fashion show, and the amount of people that know her, or I don't know, we were in the Canary Islands shooting The Mother, and tourist ships were like shouting to her, J.Lo, and you realize, my God, can you go anywhere that you're not recognized? And here's a woman, much less a Latin woman, who has achieved more than almost any other woman on earth, both as a dancer, as an actor, as a singer, and as an icon, right? And still pushing the boundaries of what she wants to do. So I admire her a great deal.
Also, me as a fan, many people around me, we only get fed by what we read in the news.
Yeah.
And like we create a whole idea of who is this person, basing ourselves in what we read in the news. And I like how she explained many things, like on her personal life, because I feel that she cleared the air in even in her fans, because she's Jennifer Lopez, she's yellow because the fans support her for many years.
Yes.
All this in her personal life is well explained in this documentary.
I think the documentary does, it does a very good job of, we were so focused, honestly, on the movie, making the original and keeping it on budget, that we didn't notice the cameras were there.
Yeah.
So they really were able to capture in real time what was happening, for all of us. And you were able to see, I think so many people have tried to tell her story and tried to put her in some sort of box. And I think she finally decided to take back the power and tell it herself.
Also, I said she's open to tell her story, because many people just pretend and let people talk about it. And cultural, I think this is important because it humanizes these people that we watch in TV, that we watch in shows, that we listen to their music. And I'm talking about the documentary, The Greatest Love of All. How the idea of making this documentary behind This Is Me, because this is something that for me, I have seen both, but The Greatest Loves of All, I think it's made mostly for the fans, like the fans who
Yeah,
really want
I think yeah, I mean, it was Ben Affleck who was very generous because this was not his preference to make a movie that even had their lives in it, but he also understood, he was very supportive of her journey. And he also understood that collecting content about this was a once in a lifetime event. So he was smart. He had his studio get cameras there from the beginning and follow the rehearsal and interview her and interview all of us. And how are you feeling in real time? And I didn't even know if this was going to be a documentary. I didn't know if it was just going to be, part of their home movies. But it was very raw. Nothing was staged. And you really do get a peek into their lives. And I think it will contextualize the original.
Yeah. And also I really like the part when she started recruiting famous people to have parts in This Is Me. And it looks very casual. Like everything looks very casual, the way she connect with people, and mostly with Jane Fonda, that you see her like herself, but older version. And how was this processing of getting this connection with these names, the Sofia Vergara, the
I
same.
mean, well, the hardest part was the availability because we only had 20 days to make the movie. And she was in every scene, so she wanted to be available for the zodiacs. So it was finding, and she handpicked all those people, but it was just scheduling it that became hard because, as you see in the documentary, the director wanted to take another day to shoot someone else, and I wouldn't let him because it was gonna cost us $100,000 to do it. So it became, I became that person who was saying no. And while Jennifer was financing it, I think the financier respected it, but the artist, that was Jennifer, wanted me to shut up.
So something very important also, it's how do you expect this mentality the fans has before watching this, the fans have before Jennifer Lopez. Do you expect that anything changes after all these two projects?
Listen, I'm so happy that the movie is #1 on Amazon, that the album is #1 on iTunes worldwide and in the top 10 on Spotify. It's got a life of its own. I just think that what she wanted to do and what I think she attempted to do with The Greatest Love Story Never Told was tell it, was show how the sausage got made.
And I agree with you. Like it's a huge success, and I think fans are gonna love it. What do you have to say to those fans that is gonna still loving Jennifer Lopez no matter what.
But you ain't seen nothing yet. The best is yet to come. And I'll end this interview by saying what she says at the end of the original. Never give up, Joe.
I
Right?
agree.
Like Ruben, if you want to write a script, go write a script. Don't let anybody's fear stop you. Okay?
Thank you.
Okay. Nice meeting you.
Elaine, it's my pleasure, and I really enjoy both work because I don't want to call documentary to This Is Me.
Okay. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Adios.
Bye.
You figure shit out when shit is hard. I forget how much older I am than everybody now.
You live and learn. Let me say this to you. The prize for aging is wisdom.
I don't know. I don't understand it.
I just, nobody does. I don't need to do any of it, but I want to. Here we go. I'm scared. You don't look like it, though. I don't act like I'm scared, but that's the secret to my whole career.